so. I mean, it was really vile. And I'm no prude, okay? But it was like really vile. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like this is not, I was never part of that movement. I would have never carried a sign that said that, but it's just who they've become. And they're really proud. It's like, we're not, they don't know who they are.
Right.
Right. So they're like, well, we're more than just our sexual organs yet. Let's talk about my all day. And then,
which, by the way, men are happy to oblige. We're good.
Yeah. And then, by the way, you don't have to have a pussy to be a woman.
Nope.
It's like, what? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they support.
How does that compare with the Right to Life March? I believe you spoke there this year, and it was a pretty big one. Not a peep, of course, from the media. How would you contrast the two?
Strangely enough, no pussy signs.
Really?
At the March for Life. Yeah, I can believe it. It's just different. The Women's March is fueled by anger and hate. And really, it's not even a women's march. It's an anti-Trump march. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what it's about.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, and like the pro-life, the March for Life is like, it's just really like joyful, and there's so many young people there. And, occasionally some Native American protesters that nobody knew was there. Right. And but like even the protesters that are there.
Because abortion was a very common practice among the Apaches.
Sure. So, even the protesters that are there, like the poor women that show up to be there to protest, like they're treated with kindness, really, by the pro-lifers. When I went to the Women's March, I was pregnant with my twins. I was like big, visibly pregnant with my twins, and I'm holding my sign, and these three people come and like barrel me and like knock me over and like assault me in the street because I'm pro-life. And so it's just a very different vibe. It's a very different tone. Right. And people are just generally more joyful.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine. I did want to go to the Women's March this year. Speaking of vulgar displays, I like to use the system to subvert the system. A lot of people go, why are you telling dick jokes? Right? Well, the reason is because I know that these people use vulgarity, and we're certainly nowhere near. This is a PG-13 show. But I understand that's a language they speak. And so you use it to subvert it and effectively, hopefully, transmit a message. I wanted to go. We didn't have the time, and I was not in the best of health. I wanted to go to the march this year and have a big papier-mâché vagina like they have. I wanted to have a big display, and I wanted to be dressed as a baby and crown and come out, but then have a doctor chase me with a pair of scissors as a pro-life display. But I didn't have the time to do it, and I think it would have been lost on a lot of people.